Hey everybody! Today we're going to look at something that is intrinsic to being human. That is, to use and create technology. Now, on the whole, we consider technology to be a simple tool that we use to make the world more convenient for ourselves. But what actually is technology, and does it have more control over us than we wish to believe? Let's take a look. There are two things that define all human cultures that have ever existed. Perhaps even from my perspective, two things that define the human being itself. These are having technology and some kind of religion or spirituality. Our technological side deals with the physical reality that is directly in front of us, while our spiritual side deals with the non-physical reality we can comprehend but are not able to fully understand. More on that in another video, however, as it does have a lot to do with our communal mental health. Turning to technology, however, what even can we define it to be? For a start, we have to understand it at its most fundamental level. This is when the physical reality that surrounds us is changed somehow through manipulation. On a more philosophically formal level, we could say that technology is the transformation of information into a more static form. Take for instance the phenomenon of language. Language is the use of the physical reality of sound, which we then manipulate with our vocal cords and mouth to create clear, concise information for others to understand. Language then in this reading is a technology, whereby a physical reality is turned into a more static and clearer system of information. Here now is the catch of technology, whereby I think and express myself through language. As a matter of fact, I have almost no way of considering anything, even processing information in my own head, without that language, which means without technology. In other words, I am actually trapped by that technology, and just because I can simply reorder words in certain ways gives me only an illusion of freedom. This predicament of technology was well understood by the ancient Greeks, and was considered through the myth of the trickster god Prometheus. In this myth, Prometheus has quite the urge for showing up the big boss, Zeus. The story goes that at a feast involving humans and gods, Prometheus cut up an ox and divided it into two portions. The first portion would be picked by Zeus, and then the other portion would be given to the humans. On one plate, Prometheus put the best cuts, and then covered them in entrails to make them look disgusting. On the other plate, Prometheus put the worst cuts and bones, but wrapped them up in fat to make them look absolutely delicious. Zeus took the better looking plate and realized only later that he'd been taken for a ride. Angered by this, Zeus took away fire, which is a metaphor for technology, from humanity. Crafty Prometheus, however, took the fire and hid it in a fennel stalk, and returned it to the humans sometime later that day. Looking down from Mount Olympus, Zeus was enraged when he saw the flicker of fire. This time Prometheus had gone too far. Punishing Prometheus was easy. Just get Hephaestus to chain him to a rock and an eagle to eat his liver every single day. But what to do with humanity? How can you eternally punish something that is mortal? Zeus, being the inspired genius of cruelty, came up with the perfect answer. Let the humans keep the fire, but also let's give them Pandora, or the first modern woman. Pandora is an endless consumer and loves to adorn herself in fine things. She is also exceptionally beautiful, and man cannot help but be smitten and fulfill her every craving and wish. The punishment then? Man must endlessly toil his whole life to create more technology to appease Pandora's and therefore his own desires. Beyond the questionably sexist ideology that resides at the core of Greek and therefore Western culture, there is an interesting and difficult problem the myth highlights. Rather than just being a simple tool that allows the world to be more convenient for us, it turns out in this myth that we may actually instead be a puppet played by technology. This is why fire was kept away from us on Mount Olympus, because it was too much for our tiny mortal brains. As such, each generation can never learn the trap of technology and will blindly become a slave to it once again. This is the eternal punishment handed down to us for kind of not really doing anything wrong if we're honest about it. But here we are. So what's the moral of this story, and what does it have to do with social media and greater mental health issues? Well, as our online profiles and avatars become increasingly more real than our real selves, we are continually losing a freedom of expression to technology. It turns out that technology may not actually be there for us at all, and on the contrary, we may actually be slaves to it, building it like a manufactured and lifeless weed until one day it will consume the world. More videos coming soon. Give me a like and a sub if you feel like it. Many thanks for watching and love to you all.